Hello, Dan.
Hey, Bill.
How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How's the HOA community doing?
No, it's doing well, doing well. Still a great place to live, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
you know,
that's for sure.
like any other community, though, Dan. There's always different issues,
Oh yeah.
that need to be resolved or worked on, and
Gotta tweak everything in life.
that's all, And I mean, we got a couple of issues with some of the people here, but like I said, what are you gonna do?
That's right.
We're gonna talk about it. Now, the biggest thing today is you're gonna hear us ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And we really want feedback because we want to see where we want to go with these different topics we have.
Yeah.
We'll share a little bit on each one. But then, we really need to hear from you people what you'd like us to talk about on these topics, or give us your opinion on these topics. As you can see, our email is right there, hoacommunityliving@gmail.com. Send us a note or a letter or a couple of pages. We don't care. We read everything.
Last one to send an email was back in January sometime.
Yeah. So please give us a little some response here, and we can continue the podcast. Yes, we have not done one in a few weeks because mostly my fault. I was away, enjoying myself, which is what you can do when you retire.
There with Captain Steuben. Or Captain Martin.
Martin, yeah, we were out celebrating my girl's 80th birthday on a cruise, and it was really nice. We had a great time. So, but now we're back, and Dan and I just, like I said, we have a few topics. And in fact, I'm going to switch this over to Dan and let him, get it started. So here you go, Dan.
Thank you much, Bill. This is some good stuff I want to start out with here because I really want
wait a
to share
minute.
it.
Hold it, it froze.
Uh-oh.
Oh, jeez.
We're frozen. Goodbye. That's we should swap cameras on me. It's all right.
All right, and you won't come back. Look at that.
Stay on that.
Look at
That's fine. I don't mind if they just hear me.
Let's see what happens. We go there, we go there. They're all dead.
Well, I can talk, Bill. You play with the video. How's that?
Well, it ain't working so good.
We'll check it afterwards, or you want to just pause it and start over?
Hold on a second.
Sure.
Let's go this way. Yeah, how's that? Hello, Dan. There you are.
Hi there. I'm back.
Yeah.
So there you go. We can talk. I just wanted to talk about a couple things. Here in our park, we have a great program. It's a medical loan program. Well, we get different kinds of things in, crutches, wheelchairs. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat still. Just wanted to share with people how good that program is. And we just recently picked up 2 scooters. We're going to put them in a raffles kind of lottery thing and give them away to somebody. 2 of them. Only cost us $100 each to put them back in play. We recently had a bazaar. Every year, people in our park, whether they move, pass away, whatever, donate furniture, tools, clothing, whatever. And we have a big bazaar. We're hoping that we're going to come out about $12,000 profit this year. Just on the day of the bazaar was over $5,000. I cannot thank our community that's put all their time and efforts into it, and the people out there in the world that come in shop and buy the things. Thank you, thank you. It's great. I recently got a statistic about communities like ourselves, a mobile home park. In 2013, you had 33% of the parks were living full-time. In just a few short, 12 years of difference, we flipped it to 66%. That's a statistic you can check. But I understand that's exactly what it is. So we're moving the other way, getting more full-time residents. And that's great because we want to say, speak up. Speak up. Did you hear me? I don't know if I said that again. Did I say that loud enough? Speak up. Tell us what you want to hear. Speak to the people in charge. If you have a problem, let them know. We had a meet and greet recently. That's what new members invited to come on into our community and our clubhouses and say this is what we do, meet people, committees, things like that. Sent out 78 new homes in our community alone. 10 alone have already been rented. 5 are being flipped, and only 14 people attended that night, new members. I want to thank our membership chair lady who does this. She did a great job with it, but nobody else participated. We just recently had a 90s party for all the people in our park over 90s. I understand that was a terrible turnout by our membership. We got to do better. We got to do better. Here's some things that we know is coming up in our own park. This is one we really want to hear about. You're not talking about just putting on a new roof. You're talking about a $300,000 project for solar energy. My first question would be, are the roofs going to be able to handle it? But I want you to give feedback to us. What are the benefits? I mean, I've got a whole sheet I can share with you here about how long you think it takes to recoup money back from a $300,000 energy investment like that. So, tell me what you think about it. Tell Bill what you think about it. Let us know, because boy, oh boy, that's a big spending, especially when you start having infrastructure problems that we have to correct. Here's one that really, we have a lift station. Does everybody out there know what a lift station is? It just is I had a thing here recently about it. What did I do with it? Oh, let me pull it up real quick. Maybe Bill can explain it even easier.
Yeah,
what the lift station does for us.
It's a pump in a manhole that all the sanitary sewage goes to. And what happens in the south end, our sewer system is lower than the Largo City sewer system. So we actually have to pump that sewage up and into their system to get rid of it. And, we did the other things over the course of the years. We had it repaired. We had the whole station cleaned and redone and new pumps put in. We have a backup pump on the shelf. So in case a pump goes out, we can stick another one in right away. Don't have to wait for one to be delivered. But the other problem we had is
No electricity.
During the hurricanes, we lost electricity for like 5 days, 6 days, right? Guess what? The pumps don't work when there's no electricity.
You cannot flush.
Yeah, so go ahead, Dan, take it from there.
I guess my biggest problem with this is they recently had a meeting in our own community about this. 7 community members, only 2 live here full time, and they tabled it. How can you even consider what a problem might be unless you yourself have dealt it yourself? You can't flush. You can't cook. You can't go poo-poo. Get that problem fixed. If this storm comes up and we don't have one of those, boy, it's going to be big trouble. We wanted to do wellness checks after people mentioned it. The committee right away. Why would you do wellness checks after a storm? Liability, they said. What liability would it have for me to knock on my neighbor's door and say, hey, did you survive the storm? Are you still alive? No, it's a liability. Some said make them go to a shelter. That's great if you're 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. But guess what? You get up to 80, 90 years old and you're the only one in the house. It's not that easy to pack up, especially little Fluffy, the dog, cat, whatever, and head to a shelter down the road. Of course they're saying it's not going to be comfortable. Who said anything about comfort? They just want to be safe. And if they're safe in their own home, leave them alone.
And just a word on shelters in this area. Yeah, the shelters are provided for free, and they're good. The problem is there is nothing there.
Nothing.
It's an empty auditorium or gymnasium. That's it. You have to bring all your own stuff.
And that's hard if you're 89 years old, packing this in a wheelchair.
Yep.
Or a walker, or whatever. Speaking of that, I forgot to get one. Sorry, Ma, I understand we wanted to get one of those today. You and I will get one. I'll call you when I get back. Here's some fan feedback. Now, of course, you guys are not sending an email. I don't know what you're afraid of. I'm not going to give your name out. I'm not going to say, you said it. I know you did. You said I got it right here in writing.
Yeah.
No, but I want to hear from you. I don't want to just hear from you on the street. Send us email. Give us a call. Shoot us a text. Anything. Social media. We got social media out there everywhere. Why do we censor it? Why do we say it's okay for him to say it, but I don't want her to say it? Or I don't want him to say it, but she can't say it, or whatever. Censor nothing. If you want to have social media and you want some kind of input, if you don't like it, don't read it. If you don't want to, don't comment on it. Simple as that. I mean, it's back to the days, hey, when I was a kid, social media, what was that? Social media was yelling out the window at your neighbor or throwing a rock across the field. If he didn't want to talk to me and I want to talk to him, guess what? We avoided each other. We did, that was as simple as that.
That's right.
And sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me.
Yep. Well, Dan, like you're saying about feedback, after our last podcast, we talked about the increase in the HOA fee during that podcast and everything, and and what our views on it was, and our finance committee came back to us and they posted some stuff. Of course, nobody sent us an email or talked to us. They had to post it on social media that we were completely wrong. No, we're not. They didn't give any explanation, but we're not. If you sit with a calculator and do the hard numbers, you know there's going to be another large increase next January to cover the total cost of whatever our lease increase is.
Yep.
You know, this is a stopgap measure they're putting in because they don't want to hit everybody with the total cost right now.
At the same time.
Yeah. Well, I guess what? It ain't helping anyway because right now there's over 40 homes in this community on the market. And what do you think is driving that?
It's gonna get
Yes,
even worse.
we understand the Canadian dollar is really going in the tank. And people can't just do that anymore, you know. They have to weigh, you know, what they need to do with the available funds they have. And we can understand that and we feel for those people. But, you know, when you're doing a $200 and something increase this year, and next year we're looking at least another $60, maybe $65 increase, you know, you're talking a lot more money.
It's over 25%.
And then people that have been living here for years and say they lost a spouse, a lot of them are just getting by. Yes, is that anybody's fault? No, of course not. You know, but you know, to try and do stuff to try and keep the community whole, we don't see that happening.
Yeah.
You know, all we keep hearing is about increases and this and that and that. But, and an increase is fine if they're fixing the infrastructure in the community. Right? Spending $300,000 on solar energy
I get it.
that maybe in 7 years will start paying off. You know?
And we got a
and
small
they're basing
sinkhole on my street.
Yeah, and they're basing these numbers all on sales projections from the company that's trying to sell us solar panels, all right? Are they accurate? Nobody knows. Who knows what's going to happen, right? 7 years from now. But we won't see any of that $300,000 back for at least 7 years.
At least.
Until that's paid off, you know?
Yeah.
But they'll go and spend money on that. Like and Dan just said too, you know, down the end of his block, there's a sinkhole opening up. And I don't think it's getting any smaller either.
No, I don't think so. No,
You know?
Sandbags running out because it's raining.
Yeah. So I know it's being investigated, and it's being investigated by the people that redid our sewer lining on all our sanitary sewer system. And I'm not saying it's their fault or not, but I know they are involved. So, you know, hopefully they'll get it taken care of and get that hole filled. Something caused it. You know, a sinkhole like that didn't just appear out of nowhere.
Right. This is something I dug up on this topic that we're really going back on now. We just finished. Was that social media? Why?
Yeah.
Call me. Send me a message. I'll say all kinds of different things here about the ill effects, the good effects. It's not good.
Yeah. You know, we've gotten some positive feedback over the months we've been doing this.
Yeah.
You know, people are happy somebody's actually getting out there and putting some information out. You know, and, you know, we're not looking to point fingers at anybody.
No.
We're just trying to bring up issues that need to be taken care of.
And if the finger really goes in your direction and you're not happy with it, well, it's only truth. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to say on social media site that it's not, feel free to come here. We'd love to put you on the podcast where you can talk to the world.
Yeah.
Real time.
Yeah. What else you got there, Dan?
I got here, this is another couple of, these are all fan feedback questions and such, like projects, successes and failures. We've had a few biggies around here, the air conditioner in our clubhouse, the pool, we just recently opened it up. And this kind of goes hand in hand with the next thing that ties into it. When are these projects ever done? I mean, you go ahead and spend $250,000 or more on a big project like a pool. When does it ever get done? I know they got a punch list. Okay, is the punch list ever fixed? A year and a half you've been working on that air conditioner.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years. Is it on the punch list? So when does it end? When does it get fixed? When can we actually use it the way it should be used? Those are crazy. Crazy things. I just don't understand it. There should be follow-up. There should be repercussions. I don't know. And this goes directly to some of these people on committees. If you can hear me out there, give me a reason. I'd love you to come up and tell me. Liability. This is a big one in my eye. This is the next one on. Why do we say that? Don't you think at our age, I mean, I'm only 71. I'm just a spring chicken. But some of these people that get up and go out the door every day have a liability just getting out of bed. So why would you, everything that we want to do around here for the good of the park is tagged with, we can't do that. Take it back just to the wellness. Why can't you do a wellness check after a hurricane? Why? Liability. What's the liability? I don't understand it. It just boggles my mind that you would use it as an excuse for helping somebody else. Imagine if Jesus ever said that's a liability and never helped anybody, never reached out to anybody. Imagine where we would be today. You know, I know if you're not Christian, you could go tell me to stick it where the sun doesn't shine, but it's really weird. This is a big one here. People ask me about, talk about social media sites. Absent board members, no participation, no help, unless it's on your terms. What's that all about? I was a board member for 2.5 years. I'd have bent over backwards if you asked me to. There's no way I could nowadays. Geez, you'd have to pick me up off the ground. But. So I mean, really, seriously, why is that? Why do people feel like they can't help out? They can't pitch in. They can't volunteer to do something. You know, and you always walk around with a scowl on your face like you're pissed off at me and everybody else around me. I don't like it. Voting certificates. This is a big one that came up in our election this year.
Yeah.
Feel free to take off with this one, Bill.
Yeah. Let me bring it back.
Yep. That's the way to do it, right there.
We did a recount on the ballots for the election, and of course we didn't come up with too much. But one of the things we found, there was a whole stack of ballots that were not included. So we questioned that. Why weren't these included in the election? And they said, well, there's no voting certificate on file for those people. We had no idea what they were talking about. So they explained it to us that the homeowner, or whoever was the signer on the house, who bought the house, the purchaser, becomes the member. And then the member, at time of closing, evidently signed a voting certificate. And that's at closing. You know, you sign like, what, 100 documents? Who knows? There's all kinds of documents you sign. So nobody really remembers that, I'm sure. Everybody's excited, they're moving into their home and everything else. There's many things to be done that day and so on and so forth. I was part of that. I mean, you know, I didn't remember anything about a voting certificate. So what has happened over the years is you have a husband and wife in the house. Well, the husband signed for the house, and he passes away. Well, now nobody in that household, even though the wife is still there, can vote on any elections or anything, because they don't have a voter certificate on file.
Yeah.
So do yourselves a favor, and this goes on, I understand, in every community.
Yes, go to your office.
Go to your office and ask to check your voter certificate for your address. And make sure you're listed as the voter of record.
Now, kudos to our management company when they said, after this election, and we brought this up, they said, we're going to work on this. And they are.
Yeah.
They have actually sent my mother-in-law a letter saying, you are listed as a voting on the certificate. Is there anybody else you want?
Yeah. So and it's just a matter of updating the certificate. It's not a big deal. And you can go down to the office, you can do that, you know. But definitely need to check with your office. And no matter what community you're living in, do this check to make sure that your vote is being counted during any election that goes on in your community.
Well, you'll get caught with your pants down.
Yeah. What else you got there, Dan? I know we got a list today.
Yeah, there's only a couple more things on here. Here's a big thing in our community. They cut back the sanitation hours way back from 6 days a week to 3 days a week, and you got to remember what 3 days there are. There's only a small window of hours in that day that you can go. Now that you're back to being fully staffed.
Well, wait a minute, back up a little bit. The reason they did that, they said, because they didn't have enough staff.
That's right.
Right?
Now they're fully staffed.
What
are you going to do about it?
And all they keep telling us now, we're fully staffed. But the hours never went back to what they were.
And I believe that came up in our planning and environmental last month when that gentleman I told you about, he was going to start looking into the cost now of emptying that kind of stuff to getting it out of here. What's improved, what's been better, what's been done. Can we get somebody back in there full time to expand those hours back again?
Right.
Maybe not to as many as we had, but something.
Well, I'd like to see it go to at least 3 full days a week. So you're not guessing, well, wait a minute, is it Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon? Is it Friday morning or Friday afternoon? What hours is it open on Saturday, you know?
Yeah.
If we could get 3 full days, that'd make a big difference.
Yeah.
So that'd help with a lot of the questioning.
The last thing I had on ours, Bill, is this is a big thing. It was brought up to me by a few people in the community. We have in our prospectus that you have to have 2 of this, 2 of that, 2 of this, 2 of that, 2 of that, 2 of this, that, and so on. They have 2 laundry rooms here in our park. I believe, from what I've heard from these folks, 7 machines. 7, count them, 7. 7. 1 work. That's it. 1 work. And these are leased machines. We don't own these machines.
No, we have a company
but yet
that
we
takes
give you
care of that.
space.
Yeah.
If we're not going to use the space, I don't really care for one of our board members on a social media site. Not that I don't care for him, but I don't care for how he responds to things like this. They're not used enough. They're not used enough for who? For you. But these people use them and they want them. They don't have that luxury in home. So now you want to make them go off property. Talk about liability.
Yeah.
Let's get them fixed.
But it's something in our prospectus
Yeah.
that we're supposed to supply as an amenity.
You have them. They
And,
just
you know,
they don't say they have to work.
The
yeah,
one laundry room has nothing working in it.
Right.
The other one has 1 machine.
So as a homeowner, if you use these machines and you're listening to this, or if you know someone that uses these and aren't listening to this, tell them to complain to somebody who can make a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
They really need to do something about it because this is ludicrous. Absolutely.
You know, there's no reason to use it as an excuse they're not used enough. It's in our prospectus.
It
It
doesn't-
needs to be maintained.
It doesn't cost us anything but space. Maybe a little bit of electricity and water,
Right.
but it's an amenity to the park. Wake up. That's about all I got today. What else do you have, folks? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Or if any of these topics you got something to say on, let us know.
Yeah, otherwise-
And like Dan said, if you want to stay anonymous, that's not a problem with
I'm
us.
not going to tell anybody.
You know? No. We're just looking for topics and different opinions and feedback.
Yeah.
So please, you know, as I said earlier, and I'm going to bring that back up now, you should be able to make our picture smaller. There it is. Our community corner.
Yeah, there it is.
HOA Community Living at gmail.com. Send us an email.
I'll wear my new T-shirt that I got for Christmas. It says, "You may not like me, but not everybody has good taste." I hope you all have a great day.
Have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care.